She feels it in her chest when another woman enters the room. That stab, that discomfort. She looks at her and immediately does the check. Is she prettier? More interesting? Funnier? And when she notices he looked at her, even for a second, something inside her crumbles. She changes her posture, raises her voice volume, becomes more animated, more available, more everything. She needs to prove she's better, more worthy of attention, more deserving of his gaze. And when he gives her attention in front of the other woman, she feels victory. When he prefers to talk to her, she feels defeat. And no matter how many times she wins this invisible competition, she never feels secure. Because there's always another woman, another test, another threat, and she's exhausted from competing, exhausted from having to constantly prove her worth. But she can't stop, because stopping means risking being forgotten. And the question corrodes her. Why did I turn my life into a reality show where I'm always competing not to be eliminated? This is the invisible exhaustion of women who live in constant competition. And today we're unveiling the painful psychology behind this pattern. Because it's not envy. It's not simple insecurity. It's something much more complex. It's a self-worth wound so deep that she believes she needs to beat other women to have the right to exist. And without understanding what puts her in this arena, she'll spend her life fighting battles that never needed to exist. Let's start with the truth she needs to face. She doesn't compete because she's competitive by nature. She competes because she was conditioned to believe that value is scarce and she needs to fight for it. And this has a name: scarcity mentality applied to self-worth. Since childhood, she received messages, subtle or explicit, that she needs to be the prettiest, the smartest, the most interesting to be chosen. That being herself isn't enough. She needs to be better than the others. Media taught her that women are natural rivals. Movies showed her that the prize is the man, and women fight for him. Her own family perhaps compared her to cousins, sisters, friends. Why aren't you more like her? So she internalized, there are winners and losers. And if another woman wins, she loses. And when she's in any social situation, especially where there are men, and especially the man who interests her, her brain enters survival mode. Every woman becomes a potential threat. Every interaction of his with another becomes danger. And she starts competing. Not always obviously. Sometimes it's subtle. She talks louder when the other woman is near. She touches him more. She laughs more at his jokes. She performs. Constantly. Psychologists call this competitive hypervigilance. She's always on alert, always comparing, always measuring. And this doesn't protect her. It exhausts her. Now the question arises, but why does she do this? Not all women are like this. Because women who compete for attention almost always carry specific wounds. If she grew up being compared, your sister is more studious, your cousin is more well-behaved. She learned that love and validation are given comparatively. She needs to be better to be seen. If she had a competitive mother who competed with her in beauty, in male attention, in anything, she learned that even maternal love is a competition. And if she can't trust that her own mother values her without comparison, how will she trust other women? If her value was always based on appearance or achievements, and never on who she is, she learned she has no intrinsic value. She's only worth what she can conquer. And conquering attention became her way of feeling valuable. If she suffered betrayal or was replaced, she developed terror of being discarded again. So she competes preventively. If she's always the best in the room, he has no reason to replace her. Right? Wrong. Because a man who truly values her doesn't put her in competition with anyone. And if she feels she needs to constantly compete, the problem isn't the other women. It's that he didn't truly choose her. As she continues competing, the patterns deepen. She develops superficial relationships with other women. She can't have true friends because she sees all of them as potential threats. And when she's with them, she doesn't relax. She's still comparing. She begins sabotaging other women, not always consciously. Passive-aggressive comments, subtle gossip, anything that diminishes the threat and makes her look better in comparison. She loses her complete authenticity because she no longer acts like herself. She acts according to what will make her win. And she doesn't even know anymore who she truly is, because for years she's only been performing. She develops chronic social anxiety. Being anywhere with other women becomes stress. She doesn't enjoy the party. She monitors. She competes. She goes home exhausted, not because she had fun, but because she spent hours in battle mode. And worst, she never feels secure, even when she wins, because there's always another woman, another event, another situation where she needs to prove again she's worthy of attention. And she confuses competition with value, when in reality it's fear disguised as strength. What happens to this woman? She becomes someone who never relaxes, who lives in constant alert state, who can't genuinely celebrate other women because she sees each of their achievements as a threat to hers. She becomes the type of woman who feels relief when another woman loses at something, gets insecure when he compliments any other woman, needs to always be the center of attention to feel valuable, becomes obsessed with being the most, the prettiest, the funniest, the most desired, secretly roots against other women while pretending to support them. And relationships, they're battlefields, because she's never really present. She's always monitoring, always defending territory, always proving she deserves to stay. And ironically, the more she competes, the less attractive she becomes. Because desperation isn't attractive. Constant insecurity isn't attractive. And men sense when she's in competition mode, and this repels, doesn't attract. The crucial question isn't, how do I win the competition? It's, why am I in a competition in the first place? Because if she's with someone who makes her feel she needs to compete, who compares her to others, who gives unnecessary attention to other women in front of her, who puts her in situations where she feels threatened, the problem isn't the other women. It's him. And if she's the one competing even when he doesn't put her in that position, the problem isn't him. It's her own worth wound. She needs to distinguish. Situation 1. He creates competition purposefully. If he flirts with others in front of her, compares her, makes her feel replaceable, leave. Because he's using her insecurity as control. Situation 2. She creates competition where none exists. If he just said hi to a woman and she's already panicking, if every interaction of his becomes a threat in her head, the problem is internal. And she needs to heal that. And healing means recognizing some hard truths. Truth 1. She can't win a competition that only exists in her head. Most times, the other women don't even know she's competing. They're living their lives. She's the one who turned everything into an Olympiad. Truth 2. Competing doesn't make her more valuable. Even if she's the prettiest in the room, the funniest, the most everything, if she doesn't believe in her own value, none of it matters. She'll find another woman, another threat, another competition. Truth 3. She's fighting for the attention of someone who should give her attention naturally. If she has to compete for his attention, he's not hers. Relationship isn't competition. It's mutual choice. So if there's a woman listening who constantly competes for attention, she needs to hear, she's not winning anything. She's losing herself. Every time she competes, she reinforces the belief she's not enough being just herself. And every woman she sees as an enemy is a potential ally she's pushing away. She deserved to feel secure without needing to prove anything. Deserved relationships where she doesn't feel constant threat. Deserved to live without measuring her value by the amount of attention she can capture. And she can choose differently. Choice 1. Leave relationships that put her in competition. If he makes her feel she needs to compete, he's not for her. Because a man who values her makes her feel unique, not replaceable. Choice 2. Work on her worth wound. Seek therapy. Do the internal work. Because while she believes she needs to be the best to deserve love, she'll never rest. Choice 3. Reconnect with women genuinely. Other women aren't enemies. They're her sisters in this journey. And sisterhood heals more than any male attention. She doesn't need to be the prettiest in the room. She doesn't need to be the most interesting, the funniest, the most anything. She just needs to be herself. And if she's not enough for someone, that person isn't enough for her. Stop competing. Start existing. Because life isn't a contest. And she doesn't need a male trophy to validate her existence. She's already valuable. Always was. And when she truly believes that, She'll never feel the need to compete again, because she'll finally understand. There's no competition when you know who you are.